So, today is the 7th of October, and on this day in 1763, King George III issued a royal proclamation. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I'm not much of a monarchist. I have been known in the past to, when referring to the royal family, mention that there's probably not enough pikes or bridges for that lot. Yeah, I've mellowed a bit as I've got older. I even made up a cocktail to celebrate Prince Philip's life and contributions after he died fairly recently. But overall, I'm not much of a monarchist, But nonetheless, I feel that this proclamation is worth marking. Why is it worth marking, you might ask yourself? Well, it's because it was following the Treaty of Paris, which marked the end of the 7 Years' War between the English and the French, and it led to the French ceding their huge chunk of territory in kind of the middle of what is now the United States and Canada to England. And what the Royal Proclamation said was that the land along the Appalachian Mountains, so this huge swathe of land going up to Quebec and the Great Lakes and places like that, was to be counted as an Indian, as they called it, reserve, and was not to be settled by the colonists. And then further west, of course, was all the land still held by the Spanish at that point. But obviously, this was a source of great friction, and it may have contributed in no small part to the Revolutionary War, because, of course, people wanted to go and nab land, right? That was the great promise of the New World. Go and, okay, there's someone living there, so what? Let's just go and get it. So, even though we know in retrospect that really this proclamation did nothing but maybe delay a little bit of time before more Native American land was taken, I feel and I know that this proclamation has become an important part of it, certainly in Canada, First Nation ideas of Indigenous sovereignty and self-determination. In fact, it is part of the Canadian Constitution that was adopted in 1982. However, that's not the case in America. We kind of know what happened there. And even though we do have Indigenous sovereignty in America, it's perhaps not what was thought of a couple of hundred years ago, almost 250 years ago. Maybe there was the best intentions in the world, but I think that the lure of land and money was probably just too much. Nonetheless, I'm going to take that as a mark of the start of of what was to become ideas of Indigenous sovereignty and self-determination after having been colonized. And so I'm going to show you the Royal Toast cocktail. It's a fairly old cocktail. There's a record of it in 1937, the UK Bartending Guild. I don't know if it was any older than that, but well, let's just go ahead and make it anyway. It is a vodka drink, and I'm using American vodka, Lewis and Clark Northwest vodka. At that time, of course, the Northwest would not have been part of what's going to become modern day United States of America. But nonetheless, that's the vodka I've got, and it's the vodka I shall use. And there's going to be something to make this a bit of a red drink. I mean, I know in popular imagination, the red is a colour associated with the English. Oh no, the red coats are coming. So here we go. I've got a red shirt to add to that a little bit. And this is Hearing Cherry Brandy, and it calls for 3/4 of an ounce to go with the 1.5 ounces of vodka that I already put in. And then those sort of sweetness of the cherry brandy needs a little bit of taming, and for that we're going to use some dry vermouth, in this case Noyer Prat, which, by the way, I may have mentioned before, you are supposed apparently to keep this chilled in the fridge after you've opened it so it doesn't kind of go off too quickly. Yeah, I'm sure. I seem to have kept the vermouth in the cupboard for, I don't know, donkey's years, many years, and it's been fine to me. Maybe that just says I don't have a particularly refined palate, so let's not talk about that too much. Anyway, I'm going to go for 1 ounce of dry vermouth into my ice-filled mixing glass. Give that a brisk stir for about 20 seconds. So you need plenty of ice and plenty of stirring to get it chilled quickly and not too diluted. You want it chilled, but not weakened too much. That's the royal toast. Just, I wouldn't want my toast and marmalade weakened too much. Of course, and a good amount of marmalade on my toast in the morning. Or Marmite. Maybe not so much Marmite. More marmalade, less Marmite. If you're going to choose between the two. Marmite, little bit. Marmite, lot of it. Words to live by, those are. Boy, just making a drink with the word toast and it's making me hungry, obviously. Anyway, that is very well chilled. We are, or I am, not we are, although if you're going along with the video, it's a we, otherwise just me. I'm going to pour this into a chilled cocktail glass, and there we can see it is a delightful reddish colour. And it just takes the one garnish, which is a Luxardo cherry. Let that juice drain away before you just throw it in, otherwise you wind up with your drink kind of tasting like a jelly bean or something. Okay, let's see what we've got. Yes, now that is worth a toast to Indigenous self-determination and sovereignty. George III? Yeah, maybe not so much. Cheers.